If you guys are interested in using BlueStacks and helping me grow my channel, then download BlueStacks and Raid Shadow Legends through my link that I'll leave in the description below. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy using BlueStacks. What's up, guys? Sam the Raid Man back here today with another video. This is actually the second time I've had to record this video. Basically, the output from the YouTube video that I was watching just wasn't loud enough, so I had to reconfigure everything, put my headset on. But that being said, we are reacting and discussing the What's Next in Raid episode 6. So this is talking about all the new updates that are coming in the next year for Raid Shadow Legends, and I wanted to kind of go through these with you guys, watch it. It's about an 8.5 minute video, discuss some of the high points, and then kind of leave you with my thoughts. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it.
Welcome to the first What's Next in Raid episode of 2023. It's only fitting that we kick the year off with some huge news about what's coming to the game. So, let's waste no time in getting right into it. First up, let's start with the new PvE content. We're supercharging some of our familiar dungeon bosses, making for a really tough endgame challenge. Introducing Hard Mode Dungeons. When we say hard mode, we mean hard mode. These aren't just minor buffs and tweaks. We've really changed up the mechanics and abilities of these bosses, adding...
So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch all of this about the hard mode dungeons, but basically the 4 base dungeons, so the Ice Golem, Dragon, Spider, and the Fire Knight are all being, the current 25 stages are staying the same, but they're adding 10 new hard stages, and basically those stages are going to be all cost 20 energy, stages 1 through 10, all give 5 to 6 star gear, and the ones have a chance of dropping mythical gear, which is the ones with 4 subsets, 1 that's already rolled, so a chance at 5 subset rolls. Currently, the only way to get those mythical gear is Hydra. So this is pretty big, mythical artifacts from Spider. But they're very, very different. So let's go ahead and go to the upgraded version of the Dragon and see what is different about him.
And more fire, this malevolent fiend has doubled down on horrific poisons.
So yeah, right there you'll see he does 4 poisons and a weaken, which is massive.
Mephitic fire skill will apply twice as many poison debuffs as its normal counterpart, Wall of Fire, and it beefs up Tainted Hellraiser with a 50% increase attack buff for good measure. Also, his secret skill, Toxic Incineration, will activate all poison debuffs on your champions at once. This caustic...
So yeah, he absolutely blows up all those poisons there and just crushes everyone. So it seems to me like this is the regular Dragon. I'm sure higher stats, but it kind of mixed in with the Nether Spider, the one that places lots of poison. So... cleansers here, block debuffs. I think that's going to be very big.
Explosion can deal major damage, so be sure to bring someone who can cleanse these poisons from your team.
They got Mithrala right there. I think she's going to be awesome.
Now, let's take a look at Tainted Clysis and see what new tricks he's had.
Also, real quick, did anybody know that the Ice Golem was named Clysis? I've heard of Hellraiser and Pyro for the Fire Knight. I've never heard of Clysis.
Adding up his frozen sleeves. Debilitating Frost will remove all debuffs from Tainted Clysis and decrease your team's turn meter by 30%. Also, he's now utterly immune to poisons. Makes sense, seeing as he's literally made from ice. So, how do you defeat something made of ice? You melt it. HP Burn is your friend here. It deals 10% more damage to Tainted Clysis and destroys the max HP of his minions.
So, lots to go over there. Immune to poisons. That sucks. That's currently the best way to beat him. Soloing him. You put a squishy team in that gets you through the waves, dies to the boss, and Frozen Banshee or somebody solos the boss. That's the most fast and efficient way to farm him, and you're taking that away, which sucks. I do like the fact that HP burns are going to lower the minions' max HP, which means if they get revived, they're easier to knock back down. That's like the first good update they've made on Ice Golem. The rest of it, I think, sucks. I mean... the cleansing of debuffs makes things hard. Immunity to poisons makes this very difficult. I barely farm the Ice Golem as it is now, and I don't think the gear is going to be enough for me, especially with new Dragon and new Fire Knight. I'm going to spend all my energy farming there. This just seems way too hard for me for not the best rewards. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I just think this isn't worth it.
Making it easier to put them back into the ground whenever they get dragged back into the fight. Needless to say, some teams that
all right, let's move on to
accordingly.
The new
Next
Fire
up,
Knight.
the Ice Golem's hot-tempered counterpart, Tainted Pyro, the Fire Knight. If you thought his shield was nasty before, just wait until you see it now. It goes from needing 12 hits to break in stage 25 of normal mode to needing 21 hits in stage 10 of hard.
Guys, that's insane. 12 is hard to do. 21 is unbelievable. You only have 5 champions, so you pretty much need multiple hitters on the A1 plus ally attackers, probably 2 ally attackers on the team. This is nuts, but just wait. It gets crazier.
Hard mode, and that's not even your biggest worry. Attacking Tainted Pyro's shield will destroy your champion's max HP by 1%. Need more HP destruction? His Corrupting Blaze skill also destroys your team's HP by 15% of the damage dealt. Meaning, whatever he does, your HP is taking a hit. You'll need to find a way to counter this, or else Tainted Pyro will be carving through your champions like a hot knife through butter. Oh, and he's immune to turn meter reduction too. Sorry.
They say that so casual and so offhand. And listen to what they say right
Sorry,
now.
all you Cold Heart and Allure fans. However,
It's not Cold Heart and Allure fans. It's people who know how to beat the Fire Knight. That's not like a niche way to do it. That's just how everyone does it at high levels. Allure and Cold Heart. Cold Heart at 20, Allure at 25. That's not like some niche strategy. That's just how you beat him. This new dungeon isn't going to be Fire Knight anymore. It's going to be something that's completely different.
all hope is not lost. Turns out Tainted Pyro just needs to chill out. Okay, using freeze may not literally freeze him, but it will cause him to lose 15% of his turn meter per freeze debuff. Cool.
So this frustrates me when I watched it the first time, and now I'm watching it again. It doesn't look like we actually place a debuff here on the debuff bar, but it just removes 15% turn meter. So what's frustrating about that is it can't be turn meter decreased, but they understand how important it is for us to turn meter decrease him. So they give us a weird niche way to do that. And there's a few champions. I honestly think these are the 2 best, Yakarl and Shirmani, who have a good chance when they're A1s to do this, but it's just not enough. Like, that's worse than an Armor or turn meter decrease. It's nowhere near an Allure or Cold Heart. And yeah, this just seems really, really difficult to me. I don't know if it's worth it.
Let's move on to our next star, Tainted Scavag, and her endless brood of spiderlings. The changes to her dungeon.
So again, I'm not going to make you guys watch all of this. Basically, same thing with Fire Knight. The old ways are out. Don't do HP burn. That heals instead of damaging. Immune to turn meter decreasing effects. So no Armigers, no Cold Hearts, nothing like that. But when you nuke all of the spiderlings, she takes damage. So basically, it's just AoE hitting and hitting. Royal Guard is back. Maybe even multiple Royal Guards, Husk, drop defense and weaken, AoE on the A1 champions, maybe even ally attackers with AoEs, and you're just going to try and crush them.
Age 25 of normal mode. So if you can splat them there, you can splat them here. Overall, hard mode dungeons live up to their name, and taking them on is well worth the effort. Along with yielding greater rewards and more event or clan v clan tournament points, hard mode dungeons will also drop mythical artifacts and accessories. Until now, you could only get mythical artifacts from Hydra battles, but it wasn't exactly an easy location to farm.
So I think this is great. I love the chance at mythical. Like, can you imagine a speed piece that gets 5 rolls in speed? It'd be unreal. It's just more stats, make stuff easier. So I think that's awesome. My biggest issue is how fundamentally they changed the dungeons. Like, your Spider 20 team, 25 team, and your Spider Hard 10 team is going to be completely different. And like, I don't mind having to build different teams, but it's not even like resemblant of the previous dungeon. And I think that it's just like a massive change that's unnecessary, because they look at how do you beat Spider 20 and 25. Let's make him like immune to all that stuff. So Spider 25, it's like decrease the turn meter to the boss, burn the spiderlings, freeze the spiderlings, or stun the spiderlings. Now it's like, don't HP burn, don't turn meter, don't freeze. And it's just like the same thing with Fire Knight. You do Allure, you do Cold Heart, and it's like, nope, that's not going to work anymore. You've got to try and bring freeze in. And it's just like, I don't know, it's frustrating to me, because it's why even call it Spider and Fire Knight at that point if the fundamentals of the fight are completely different at this point. Anyways, the mythical gear I think is great. Some of the dungeons I think will be worth it. I will definitely be doing Spider, probably Dragon. We'll see about Fire Knight, and I don't think we'll be doing Ice Skull. Maybe I'll beat it once just to say I did, but I don't think so. So let's move on to the next big update.
Live Arena is coming to Raid. We're super excited about it and can't wait to see how Raid's PvP scene will evolve after the feature goes live. We won't go into too much detail today, so consider this an appetizer before a full feature preview video later this year.
So I noticed that the first time around, 2023, the year that we're almost 2 full months into now, is supposed to be the year of PvP. That being said, nothing has changed so far, and they said that a preview will come later this year, and then I would assume the actual feature will come even later this year. So I think the earliest we get PvP is probably July. That's just my guessing. I don't have any information on that, but the fact that this is a taste, an appetizer for the preview that is then going to come before the actual feature, I'd be surprised if we get it before June. I think that the preview might come around May or June, and then we get it around July. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I just don't know how the year of PvP starts in like July or August or October or whenever it is. So I think that's interesting. I thought it was going to come next week, honestly.
Live Arena will be available to all players who are level 50 and above. You can queue up for...
Also, someone said level 50 is forever. I'm level 52 on my free-to-play, so it does not take long. That's about 40 days in. So that's not a very high level, which means there's a very low barrier of entry to Live Arena, which is probably good.
Battles several times a day on a set schedule, a necessary measure to avoid long wait times in a PvE-focused game like Raid.
So I'm interested to see this. If you didn't catch that, I might have been talking over it. There are 4 times a day that you can log in to live PvP, and it's to avoid long wait times. Like say I'm on at 11:30 at night and nobody else is on. I'm stuck waiting 5 minutes for a battle, and it's not helping anybody. So there's going to be like log in, like hot times, basically, where you can log in and fight people. Now, I don't know if it's 4 times a day for each time zone or if it's just like every 6 hours, regardless of where you are in the world. If that's the case, most people would have 2 or 3 chances to log on. And that's fine. I like that idea. I think that's actually kind of smart, preventing some future problems. It just depends on how many times you need to fight. Because if I need to fight 15 times, some of the fights are going to be pretty long. And if I've only got like an hour window, they don't say how long the window is for. And I can't log into the next window. That could start causing some issues too.
Once you've queued up, you'll be added to the matchmaking pool, and you'll get matched up against an opponent as soon as possible. After pairing up with an opponent, the Battle of Wits begins with picking champions. During this phase, both players will pick their champions one by one, building a team.
So it looks different here. It looks like this person picks 5, then this person picks 5s. But it said this person picks first, which would argue this person picks second, and then it says picks him one by one. So I think the way this works is player 2, here on the left, picks Hegemon. Then it would go over to player 1, and he picks somebody. And then you'd go back and forth until he picks his 5th, and then he picks his 5th, and then you move on to the next stage. So a lot of people said it's 5 and then 5, which means if you go second, you have a huge advantage because you can just counteract whatever that person picked, but I don't think that's the way it is.
Team of 5. Each player will then get to ban a single enemy champion from the fight and choose their team leader. No doubt some of you more devious...
So that's a big part. The banning phase, basically you get to ban one person. So that person, ban their Duchess or whatever it is. You might ban their Hegemon. And then after that, you pick your leader. So I can't ban their Arbiter, and then they just don't have a speed lead. Like they just get to put in whoever in that leader spot afterwards. I assume not being able to put the banned champion in. So it still is 4v4. You just draft 5. So there's a lot of good argument for like drafting a really annoying champion, like a Mithrala, like a who's another one? A Brogni, a Krisk, Duchess. What's Mighty Uko? That's another one. A Nekrit. There's plenty of champions that you could do just to try and get them to bait into banning that champion.
Players will come up with plenty of mind games for this. Oh, and one thing to mention, you won't be able to use duplicate champions in the higher Live Arena tiers.
So some more confusion here I've seen in Discord. Both players can use Duchess, but player 1 cannot use 2 Duchesses, right? Because that was my first thought when you ban somebody. I'm like, all right, well, you're not going to ban my Hegemon because I was putting another Hegemon in there, But you can't do that. So there's no dupes in the same arena fight for your team.
Once the teams have been drafted, the battle begins. It won't be all that different as far as core mechanics are concerned, except you're fighting a real human. So be prepared for nasty surprises that the AI could never come up with. All phases in battle will have an overall time limit and a limit on player turns. Should the overall time limit run out, both players will receive a defeated result.
So you can't stall. That timer's for 30 minutes. If I have an arena battle that goes for 30 minutes, I will be super frustrated. I'll probably just back out. That is way too long. That's some multiple reviver type thing. Please don't do that. Please don't be the person that does that. I am begging you.
You're fighting the clock as much as you're fighting your opponents here, so don't try and stall out for the win. On top of the sheer awesomeness of fighting other players in real time, there'll be dedicated Live Arena quests, new artifacts, a new addition to the Great Hall where you can spend your hard...
So yeah, artifacts I'm interested in, but since we don't know anything else, I'm not going to talk about those. This is the coolest part of it to me. As much as it'll just be fun to fight people live, the new Great Hall is awesome. My biggest concern and critique right now is the regular Great Hall, which they're moving to what they call affinity bonuses. The medals don't move over. So if you've maxed your Great Hall, I don't think those medals will ever amount to anything or do anything. So these are the new separate medals for live. I also see you have 5 tokens. So I'd assume you get that maybe twice a day, 3 times a day. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if that refills like regular arena does or if it doesn't refill like tag arena. I'm not sure. But basically you get to do the same thing where you boost these stats, but they're for different areas. So it doesn't matter what affinity or rarity the champion is. It's just in that area. So if I boost his speed up to 10, I get 20 extra speed for all my champions in any potion keep, which I don't know why you would ever do.
Hard-earned live.
They have all of the regular dungeons, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, Dragon, Spider. They also have Hydra and Demon Lord. And Demon Lord is huge. Hydra is huge. That's where I'm going first. And then maybe whatever dungeon I'm struggling in the hard mode. But I think this is very, very cool.
Arena crests and other rewards to look forward to. But we'll talk about all that.
One thing I noticed is I don't see arena in here, because when I see ignore defense, arena is my first thought, because that's where people mostly have the highest defense. But that might not be the case in the new hard dungeons. They might have 4,000 defense in there, so you need some more ignore defense. A Hydra, I don't think it's super important. Speed is important everywhere. So definitely in these two, I'm for sure going to do speed, probably going to do crit damage, probably going to do accuracy. And then after that, we'll see. But like attack, don't really need that much places. Like Demon Lord is fun. Like I want to try and push new things. Maybe if I'm trying to like do the world record clan boss team and try and, hit the clan boss for 1 billion damage, I want to do some of this HP and attack and defense and stuff. But like I have an unkillable team, so I don't need any of that survivability stuff. So it just goes to Hydra, which I'm sure this will help me push to Nightmare. But it's weird that the potion keeps are in here and not arena. I don't know if that'll change. That's just interesting.
Later. Those are the 2 main features we'll be working on in the near future, but we also have some significant quality of life updates coming too. First of all, we're going to make separate.
So let me pull that back up and I'll just kind of summarize.
Significant quality of life updates coming too.
Okay. So expanded multi-battle settings and improved artifact management in multi-battles. This is basically, if you guys have ever run Raid Shadow Legends Helper or RSL Helper, it's basically just copy and pasting what they've done there. So I can run as many battles as I want. And basically you can do, if say I'm farming Dragon, I'm going to say sell everything that's 5-star, sell everything that's 6-star and rare, keep only 6-star, epic, legendary, and mythic. Keep only this set, so I want to keep only speed and accuracy, but sell everything else. And you can pick what sets to do. Let's go see if we can find that, where that is. Right here.
Type, set, specific substats, or any combination of.
Yeah, so here we go. Basically, you pick what you want to keep. So only 6-star, epic, and legendary of these 2 sets. And this is guys only keeping weapons. You can pick what stats you want. Sell anything that doesn't have speed. Sell anything that doesn't have this stat. I think this is super cool. I don't think this radically changes anything, but it is like a small quality of life, like they said, and I think it's cool.
But we also have some significant quality of life updates coming too.
Artifact and accessory sorting options, I think is great. Basically, you can just say, show me my ring that gives me the highest HP on this champion. Show me my necklace that gives me the highest crit damage. Whatever it is, it'll be like, this is your best speed artifact. If I want to build my Arbiter out as fast as I can, I go to speed set, click on the top 5, everything but boots, and say, show me my highest speed. And I'll click that, equip, click that, equip. It'll be super fast. That's a very nice feature. I don't know why it hasn't been in the game before, but I think it's great. I got excited when I saw improved fragment summons UI because I'm thinking, okay, maybe you can get some of those old fragment summons that you've had in the past. That isn't the case. Basically, it means if you have 0 fragments for a previous fragment summon, it doesn't appear in the summoning portal anymore. And that's it. So I think there are some new champions that are coming.
Unless you've got at least one of their fragments. It's a small enough change, but
so yeah,
it'll make navigating fragment summons much easier. And finally, it wouldn't be a What's Next video without showing off some awesome new champions in the pipeline. Many of these fabulous barbarians, fashionable Ogrins, and their friends are all but ready to jump into the summoning pool and join the fight for Teleria. A few are still in the early stages of development, and we need to iron out some new mechanics. They'll be worth the wait, and we think you guys will love them. And that's it for this episode.
So that's it. I know it's kind of long. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully it was enjoyable. If you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and add my Discord link down below. You can join it. I'm happy to sit there and chat about it. I just don't want this video to be super long. All in all, I'm excited. I think it's pretty cool. I'm a little nervous about some of the features and how some of the things are going to land, but I do think it's all new content. To me is always good. So that being said, hope you guys enjoy the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.